mama though. Look, I did with the pencils, I did with the books. Snotty noses and crying, I'm shook. If you like me and you need a hand, had no fear, I got the master plan. Coolest teacher in the land, the coolest teacher in the land. You say it's you? Nah, stop playing. I'm coolest teacher in the land, coolest teacher in the land, coolest teacher in the land. From the A to the H, from the to Japan, coolest teacher in the land. Go. Yo, what's up, y'all? You already know who it is. It's your girl, it's your auntie, it's your cousin, your sister, but I'm not your mama, though, because that's too much responsibility. It is the one and only April Praise. Now, I told y'all I was going to do this a couple times on the channel. We're going to have a teacher roundtable. I'm real excited today. You're going to get real teachers, just talking like teachers, okay? So, it's raw and uncut. Not really, because we all still have jobs, but we here, we gonna be real, and we just gonna talk. We gonna teacher talk, okay? Now, who I have with me, I'll let them introduce themselves later. These are three ladies. We all work together at the first school that I started working at, and well, working at that school, you had to have friends, okay? Because that's all I can say. Working at that school, you had to have friends. And I have friends who have turned into family. So we have the amazing Miss Bryana Jackson here with us. And we got Brittany Ray here with us. And we got LaJoy Wilson here with us. Now, before we go into this and let them talk a little bit about themselves, I'm going to tell you why these ladies are family, because we have so many moments, but one moment in particular that I want to tell you all about. They don't know what story I'm about to tell, but all I'm going to say is cars. So my friend LaJoy, she, hold on, let me mute them because they're going to be laughing the whole time. So here we go. My friend LaJoy, she had to get a car for her grandfather. That's what we're going to say. And so when we arrived to school, I left my car at the shop. There was a shop right down the road. And I walked to the school. It was like half a block away. And my friend Bryana was going to drive me home. Fine. So we're at school, and LaJoy says, "Hey guys, I need to go get this car for my grandpa." We're like, cool. So me and Bryana, we ride in LaJoy's car to go get the car. It's this big old Cadillac. So we drive, we get the Cadillac, and then we come back to the school because that's where Brianna's car was. And she was like, "Well, friend, you can drive my car home. I'll drive the Cadillac. And then in the morning, we just come back to the school." I'm like, "All right, bet." So, we go home, come back to school, and my car was ready during the day. So Brianna drove me to get my car from the mechanic. We come back to school. Mind you, Bina is just laughing at all this when we realize that we have four cars and three people in this very tiny parking lot. Like, we had that mug just like it was our own lot. And so we all sitting here like, hold on, how are we gonna get, we asking people, can we leave the car at their house? Like, it was very ghetto. It's a hot ghetto mess. But we ended up taking the Cadillac to where it needed to go while we trailed in Brianna's car, and then Brianna drove us back to the school, and everybody got our own cars. So that is just a little glimpse of the shenanigans that I got in with these lovely ladies who are now my sisters. So I'll let them. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let these lovely ladies introduce themselves. So y'all go ahead, introduce yourself, say your name, say your little teaching experience. Don't be long-winded like y'all normally are. Take it away.
All right, I guess I will start. My name is Mrs. Brianna Jackson, Master in Education, MED,
Let her know,
and
sis.
I have been teaching. This is going on my seventh year. I absolutely love it. Um, and I teach third grade reading. That's me.
Okay, Bree Bree. That's the
Mhm.
shortest she's ever talked. Who
Sure.
would like to
Uh-oh.
go next?
I'll go
Uh-oh.
second. I am Brittny Ray. This is my 8th year in the school system and 4th year in the classroom. I currently teach technology for kinder through 4th grade.
Okay, I didn't know you was in the game that long. Okay, Bina.
I'm old, sis.
And last but certainly not least, go ahead, Momo.
Hi, I'm LaJoy Monique. This is my 5th year teaching. I've worked with these lovely ladies before. I've worked with Bryana for about 2 years. I worked with Brittany 2 years before, and April as well. I think my favorite thing about teaching is not always what I teach them, but how I benefit their life, how the memories that they have and the moments they have with me, the fact that I've grown them as this very small piece of their person. So,
Wow. We didn't even ask that, and she answered that. It's just in her. She's just such
yeah,
a giving teacher.
thank
Oh wow.
you.
Oh
So,
wow.
what I want to ask you, ladies, as we kick this thing off, a lot of parents have seen, obviously, that the way they viewed teachers before has totally changed with them being at home with their kids and stuff now. So, what would y'all say is the biggest misconception that people have in regards to teachers?
For me, I definitely would say that anybody can do it because it takes a very special person to be a teacher.
Hmm.
I say that another misconception is I'm not gonna, not even a misconception, but parents not answering the phone or different things like that, and not understanding when we call is not always a bad situation. Majority of the time, it's just to, hey, your child's progress. I need you to know so we can help prevent a lot of other things. So that's what I feel about
That's good. That's good. Anybody else?
One misconception that I feel like parents will have is that we do this for real. And they think that our jobs are less than theirs. And we really
Yeah,
not doing anything, or some teachers are just in it for the paycheck. And now that they actually have their kids at home with them, they're like, oh wait, this is hard work. Like, I'm sorry. Every time that you called me to tell me little Johnny was acting up, and I told you it's you doing something. No, it's really
Yeah.
little Johnny. So I think parents are getting to realize that teachers are more than just a babysitter.
yeah,
We really are teachers, mothers, aunts, counselors, officers. Anything you could think. A teacher is that.
Yeah.
we are.
Now, I remember in a couple of videos ago, I interviewed my friend who's a counselor, and she made a point. She made it it was very subtle, but she was like, for any teachers, when you teach and you do it well, it's a lot. And I think that's what separates it, like, from the people who are just in it from a paycheck, or people, who are like us, like, we actually in here doing this thing. Like, it's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
whole lot, which is why we need 2 months off, because it's a lot.
it. Yeah.
Amen,
I
church.
once had a boss tell me that teaching was a ministry. She said that teaching is not for the faint of heart because you sacrifice so much of yourself
Hmm.
and of everyone else in your life. They say one of the hardest things is dating a teacher because a teacher that truly does what they do, it is a lot. Like you're gonna
Hmm.
get. I'm sorry. I got to do this. Oh, I got to finish this. Oh, I got this deadline. I have had. I went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, "Y'all need to team up, band up, and get a raise." He said because you all do not get paid enough for what you do. He was like, I was sitting there watching and helping my first grader and my second grader, and I was thinking, somebody does this with you all day long. Yes. Oh, and my other misconception is that you all think that we take your school supplies and keep it. No. it is it is divvied and it is used. And it may not necessarily every little thing that you write your child's name on. Your child sometimes uses other school supplies because you didn't give or bring the right stuff. We don't ask for anything that we do not need that is not beneficial for your child's greatness.
That's true. No, see, that's why I tell
Yeah.
y'all. That's why I fool with them. That's why I fool with them. Like, we're more than just like people who get a paycheck. Like, we be in this mug
Hmm.
teaching, teaching. And we care about the kids. Like, at the end of the day,
Right.
like LaJoy was saying, everything we do is for the kids. Everything we do is for the kids. None is for ourselves. Everything we do is for the kids. So, knowing these misconceptions and knowing what we have to deal with, what is a way that you all go about coping with teacher stress other than happy hour? And it's silent. Amen. Glory to God.
I would say prayer. Prayer takes a lot. Prayer, prayer,
Yeah.
prayer. Exercise. Cheerleading is a wonderful outlet. Lifetime
Pause.
Movie Network.
Pause. Brianna, you spoke of cheerleading. Don't
Yeah.
you do something with cheerleading? Shameless
I
plug.
do. I definitely do. I own a cheerleading gym, and we have tryouts August 1st. If you want to try out, www.achacheerfamily.com. But yes, I
All the
do
info
own
below. I
a
got y'all.
thank you. I do own a cheer gym, but just an outlet, um, just prayer, family, and friends. To be honest, having the phone calls, hey y'all, let me tell you about this day, or let me tell you about my day, or knocking randomly on your friend's door. hmm
They all live
So
in the same apartment
Oh,
complex.
I felt that a little.
yes, so just the random phone conversations, the random text messages out the blue, anything other to get our minds off of it. I think that's what we do.
I think the best thing is when you have a teacher best friend. Like,
Mhm.
well, you can have best friends, but when you have teacher
Yeah.
best friends, it's different because don't nobody understand what you're going through, and your except for your teacher best friend, especially if they work at the school with you and they like, oh, he was acting up, he coming to you next. Oh, and like y'all
Facts.
have this different connection
Right.
because sometimes you've had your limit. You're there, and
Right.
like for example, Brianna, we've had a student and her lovely little blessing from the Lord, amen, came into my room at least for an hour a day. And I would just be sitting there like, it's time for her to come back. She only been here an hour because you need that. You need that break.
Yes.
You need that buffer because literally sometimes whereas they come home to their parents in the evening, we with them all day. And when they fresh and they ready to go. So it's a much different thing. I think that also what helps too, sometimes I like to shop and it helps me sometimes to buy pretty things. Cause I'm like, oh, I have pretty things. This makes my day better.
We're not gonna talk about
Wow.
your shopping.
Not at all.
We're
Correct.
not.
That's
At
another.
That's
all.
not this segment.
No,
That's not
that's
this
not this segment.
segment.
That's another segment. We got to link up with April for that one.
Listen, because that was
I,
a lot.
I can agree with both of you guys. Just having that group of friends that you can just exhale and let it all out one good time, and
Mm.
then even just coming out and finding other creative ways um, of just releasing your energy, to putting some good music on, vibing around your house,
Yeah.
and even calling up your friends and be like, friend, I don't need anything. I just need you to pray for me for like 2 seconds. Go.
hmm
Those moments right there, that's what gets you through those hard times being a teacher.
Speaking of creative outlets, Bina, don't you have something you do creatively? Shameless
I
plug.
do. I have my own company. We print shirts, cups, anything you need. I got you. Bijoli.
See, listen, when you friends with me, we all eat.
Yes.
Okay? We
Plug.
all eat.
Yes.
That's what I
Plug.
do. No, but I agree with them. I really in working with them and Bina wasn't there, but Brianna and LaJoy worked with me when Jasmine worked with me. I know y'all saw her in a few other
Yes.
videos.
I'm sorry.
And so that building like that family where we need y'all the school we used to joke that the school we worked at they should have changed the name to So You Think You Can Teach or So
Right.
You Really Want to Teach. Like it was a
Right.
lot. It was a lot. But having that family there to just like she said, like LaJoy had a student who I took to heavily, and I had a big impact that I didn't know at first, but I had a big impact to where if he was acting up in her class, she would send him to my class, send him to the music room, or I would come at the end of the day and ask how he did, and if he didn't do good, he wouldn't even look at me. He wouldn't even look
He
at me
just
because he just put his head down because he already knew. But having those relationships there to like bounce off each other. I remember, I think it was my last year teaching at that school. I was having some problems or whatever. And I remember I just went in Brianna's room and she turned around and I just cried. I just cried straight into her shoulder. And she just sat there, the kids working on something. I just did that. And I don't know how many times me and Bina would talk when I was with her and her kids that she used to have and whatever. Having that core that's not just gonna not, that's gonna help you out, that's gonna build you up. That is the best coping mechanism for getting through a school year. Hands down, is
true.
better than any happy hour. The ultimate coping mechanism is Jesus now. Okay?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
will keep you.
Preach.
Preach.
Oh,
Preach.
yeah. I'm sorry.
That's a word. That's a word. It's another sermon.
That's
That
another
was.
video. That's another video. Yeah, pass the offering
That
plate.
was.
But even though we have all this going on, we really do love our jobs. And what would y'all, LaJoy kind of touched on it a little bit, but what would y'all say is like y'all's favorite part of the job? Like your favorite part of teaching? Like what what is it?
For me, I would say when you can kind of see that light bulb go off for the kid.
I was gonna say
That's
that.
when
Yeah.
you know, like, I'm doing my job. Um, I taught at a school where I split third and fourth grade, and I had a third grader. Hardly could spell her name. But when it came down to 3D shapes and she could identify 3D shapes and had little old me running around the classroom in the building finding shapes, and she called out, "Oh, that's a cylinder." That light bulb, I was like, yes. So I don't think she's gonna pass anything else on STAR, but I know for a fact she's gonna pass the 3D shapes. So for me, it's that light bulb going off.
That's true. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Any you other ladies, do you like your job? Like what?
Yeah, I think I agree with Brittany. It's the aha moment. It's that when you know you taught them something, you know you put everything into it, and they not only get it, but they're able to use it. And then one of the things I learned from Bryana was when they can teach it to somebody else, that's how
Yeah.
you know they really know it. She was like, friend, they can't just know it. They got to know it and be able to teach it to somebody else because then you know that they know it. And so she would like call them their ambassadors. And I remember like when I first got to the school we were at, I would watch her. I would watch, and she would watch me, which made me so uncomfortable because I would be like, get out of my space. I'm trying to do my thing, and you're making me nervous. She'd be like, and I'm going to be here every day. But it made me better in that sense. I think that is what I loved most too, is that she so wanted me to be better. So like when Brittany would come in my room and she would just sit and just watch me teach, I was so comfortable because I had a bulldog in my doorway so much that by the time Brittany came with her love,
Jesus.
I was prepared because my other friend was on me. I
Sounds
think
about right.
us not working together, I think that's the one thing I miss because going somewhere else, I'm so used to, okay, I'm going to have instant, and it was different because I didn't have that. What I have now is everything I've learned and everything that everyone's ever taught me, I take that with me. I think I still form the connections with the children, no matter where they are. And I think I still have those aha moments, but I think some of the biggest things for me are the connections I have with kids. Like I have a kid that his mom can still call me. Brittany can still be like, LaJoy, he's da-da-da-da. And I'm like, what? And I call and I'm like, what you doing? Nothing. Like the connections that we build with those kids, and even the things that I have learned from each one of you women, I take with me everywhere I go. No matter if I'm with you every day, I have one of them like, if Bryana was here right now and she saw me sitting down, what would she say? Fred, get up, teach these children. Or I can see Brittany going, that's not cute. You need to fix that edge on that border right there. You know they look raggedy, and the kids not
Right.
gonna learn from that. Like I hear them, or I hear,
I have
I hear
crooked
you.
border.
I've been hold on, because are we coming from my border a little bit? Are we coming
Well,
from you a little bit?
the thing that I love about my kids would be, and of course, it's always a connection with my La Familia, the teachers and stuff, but the growth and I agree with you guys with the aha moments that they got it, that they didn't come in as they started. And
Yeah.
if they can appreciate reading more than they appreciate Fortnite, if they get that same excitement about that
Amen.
Fortnite
Amen. Won't he do it?
or
That was a
anything else
word.
like
That
that
was a word.
behind, and then they feel the same about reading, I know I've done my job. And then the aftermath, because I have so many children that still to this day, years later, I still communicate with, keep in contact with, because I know one of my children is going to make me a millionaire. I let them know every
Yes. Yes,
day
he is. Yes,
to
he is.
bring Miss
He
Jackson
is.
$1 million after you become so successful in whatever that you
Because he is.
possibly want to do. So
Amen.
that's my
Unless that student, because I know the student Miss Jackson is talking about, who is also my
I
star
think we all
choir
do.
student. So he's really gonna make me the money because I'm the one who honed this gift. But
I taught his brother.
wow.
I taught his brother, and I'm just saying the love was all there. But I mean,
his
whatever.
brother, I don't think we're talking about the same
We're not.
student.
Oh, we're
Um,
not. Okay.
no, we're not. But we can't say student names because that's how people lose jobs.
Right.
But I
Correct.
will say, especially with Bryana and LaJoy being in there. Well, for one, second grade was the hypest grade level
It
ever.
was.
Bryana put together this cheer, and everywhere you go, you hear SEC, OND, hey, second grade, just ghetto. And
And you do that. Yeah.
but I learned so much from all three of them. Really, what I learned from watching Brittany in her pre-K class and LaJoy and Bryana in their second grade classes was I found to appreciate that when you give kids independence, like I saw it firsthand how we don't have to baby them. Like they can do everything. I would go in LaJoy's room at the end of the day for car duty, and she literally had them running like her minions. She'd be like, "Hey, you go clean up this. You go clean up this. You grade them. They're in second grade. You grade them things. You wipe down the board." And they just do it. They just boom, 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 boom. In Brittany's class, be like, "Oh, it's time." 4-year-olds. "Oh, it's time for centers." Some kids knew exactly what to do, pulling stuff out. And I mean, Brianna's kids was in there teaching full-on lectures.
Correct.
Full-on lectures. And she back there giving them critiques like, okay, all right, say that again, say that again. But I mean, all three of them said it. They work so hard for that so that those kids can have that aha moment, which is the why in teaching. Like I said before, we teach for the kids. And I'm just grateful to have learned from all of them. Even though I am a music teacher, I take aspects of what they did in the classroom and incorporate
The
it.
best music teacher in the land.
Well, I
by
was
the
gonna
way.
ask y'all. I was
Coolest
gonna follow
teacher
up
in the
and ask
land.
y'all who your favorite music teacher is. Like my shirt. Shout out to the right chicks, not your average music teacher. They're on
Yeah.
sale for $11 right now. But yeah, I mean,
You definitely made music. You went beyond music. The
Oh, for
kids were
sure.
able to understand who the musician was, the genre of
Yeah.
the music, explain why it was important, what part of the world, even though we know which part of the world you love in particular.
they go
Um,
bloop bloop bloop.
but they really loved and enjoyed music. So I really felt like
Oh, for
you went
sure.
above and beyond when it came to music. You are
Yeah.
blessed and talented by a
Oh, for sure.
million into infinity. Okay, so that was the best time. I really wish you come back, but
I ain't doing that.
but I will say she was definitely, and still is very awesome, very awesome.
And tell y'all these things. I don't pay these women to say. I didn't pay them to be
Not a
here.
dime, not a dime,
I didn't pay them to be here.
penny.
I didn't
Oh,
pay them to
sorry.
say anything. I won't
Close your
pay
mouth,
them.
Miss Wilson.
She won't.
I won't pay them. But when I
And
blow up, when y'all book me for stuff, BOOKME, virtual PD, whatever, when y'all start booking me, then I can bless my friends. But you got to book me first.
you've already been a blessing to our lives just knowing you. So I don't never need a payment.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember
Give
that.
it to the kids.
That's
There we
that's
go.
good, Brianna. You won't get
Yeah.
a bit of my $1 million. I remember that.
Well,
You won't
that's
get.
fine. I now that is fine. I won't get a bit of a million. Mm,
I'll talk
I'm
to her
sorry.
manager.
Thank you.
Yes, they do know my manager. Shout out to my manager, my auntie Tony. She groomed me. She groomed LaJoy. She groomed Brittany.
She
Um,
did.
Shout out to Auntie Tony. We love you. And yeah. Well, thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for doing this. I appreciate you. I'll put all their info below. Feel free to follow them on social media. Hit up their businesses. Bless their businesses, especially during this time. Bryana you're doing virtual classes, virtual
Yes,
cheer classes, right?
we're doing virtual cheer classes, and she'll have the information. And is it okay if I like to leave the parents with a word real quick? I just had something just really
This
fast.
the
Thank
channel
you.
is generally for teachers, but you know what? There could be a parent who
Oh,
watches this.
teacher. Well,
So,
no, teachers and parents. It's for everybody.
well, go ahead, bless us, minister.
All I just wanted to let everybody know is everybody was a student before, and I just want everybody to remember that. And everybody always had a teacher. So you dive deep into the teacher that taught you, just like y'all said, Auntie Tony and everything else. Mine was Miss Harrison, but just remember, we were all students before, and that's all I got to say. Amen.
Amen.
Well, the doors of the church
Amen.
are
Thank
open.
you.
Is there one? Is there one? Is there one?
Will you
Uh,
come?
Y'all already know. Book me. That's
Yeah.
BOOK. I don't care what uh, the YouTube subtitles are saying. We don't agree with that demon that they're saying. But book me. Get me flued out once all this is over. Get me flued out. Be on the lookout for some new stuff coming. The summertime videos are going to be a lot more fun because it's summer. Be on the lookout for new story time with DJ A Fresh. And yeah, coolest teacher in Atlanta.